The special guest referee has been revealed for SummerSlam in the rematch of the Usos versus the Street Profits. And the special guest referee, is it someone like Solo Sikoa?
No.
Is it someone like Sami Zayn?
No.
I wonder who it could be. Who could possibly further this story of the Usos and the Street Profits? Who's the most effective person? Or even if they want to get in someone that's just like, just someone who has some name value, someone who's like a legend. Maybe someone who's like a tag team specialist, so they can play off the dynamic of the tag teams. Is it someone like that?
No.
Who is it, Tempest?
Hey, Jeff Jarrett, isn't it?
Jeff Jarrett?
No.
Jeff Jarrett is the special guest referee of SummerSlam.
Why?
Usos and the Street Profits. Welcome to the WrestleTalk Podcast review of SmackDown and Rampage. I'm Chopper Pete Quinnell. I'm joined by your Jam That Champion Tempest.
Hello.
Get in your Ultrachats. Tempest's mic isn't on.
That is news to me.
But we tested it before.
Goodness me.
I'm fixing it.
Those intros and outros are going to be great.
Oh, yeah. You know it. Go now.
Da 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 da. Hopefully that's better. Goodness me.
That's better.
Because we're having such a great day already.
It's good. We did it.
Yeah, nailed it. Why is it Jeff Jarrett?
Jeff Jarrett.
Why is it Jeff Jarrett?
I don't know. Get in your
Christ.
thoughts about this. The WrestleTalk.com/support. Because I have thoughts, I think.
All right,
about
the
this.
actual reason has to be the Nashville thing.
It's in Nashville. SummerSlam is in Nashville.
We gotta get the hometown crowd into the building with a hometown star.
But, like, isn't the point of SummerSlam being a big stadium show now that they have a big international traveling crowd, so it won't be a hometown crowd? Isn't that the point?
I don't know. If you're looking for a logical explanation of this, that's the best I got.
Yeah. So let's just go through actually what happened and how this came about, because it came after the main event on this episode of SmackDown, which was Jimmy Uso versus Angelo Dawkins. And they had Sami Zayn on commentary for this one. And, honestly, I feel like we're going to have differing opinions on this match, because I didn't hate it. And I thought the booking around it, it was a lot of booking, but I thought it was effective in what it tried to do. In that it was Jimmy Uso versus Angelo Dawkins. They were having a fine match. I would even maybe go so far as to call it good. It was good stuff, I thought. They then had a ref bump, which looked fine. It wasn't like a very convoluted ref bump. It was all right.
As far as ref bumps go, this was pretty good.
It was pretty decent, yeah. He went down, and then Angelo Dawkins got a visual pin with a roll-up. Jimmy Uso then hit a super kick and got a visual pin on Angelo Dawkins, but the referee was still out. Referee was then starting to rouse. Angelo Dawkins hit a sky high, got the 1-2-3 on Jimmy Uso, but Jimmy Uso had his shoulder up, reminiscent of what happened in the Money in the Bank match. And I also like that there's a logical consistency as to why the referee didn't spot that, because he was still out of it from the ref bump. And he was on, like, the wrong side. Like, it makes sense that he would have missed that shoulder being up. Yeah, so Angelo Dawkins gets the win, but Jimmy had the shoulder up, so he was like, hey, shoulder was up. That's not fair. What the hell? All that stuff. I liked all of that. I thought all of that, it was effective booking, and I think that sort of booking can get very confusing very quickly, but I think they left it enough space to breathe so that you hit all the beats that you wanted to hit in that story so that it all made sense. It was a schmoz, but it was an intentional schmoz, and I think it worked for what it wanted to do. But then afterwards, Adam Pearce comes out on the stage and says, well, at Money in the Bank, the Street Profits were upset, and now here, Jimmy Uso is upset because both your shoulders are up. Well, I figured out a solution. We're going to have a special guest referee at SummerSlam, and it's this man. And he throws to not Jeff Jarrett, but a video package of Jeff Jarrett. And it's like a really anticlimactic reveal. Like, they don't have like a tease as to who it is, then go, it's Jeff Jarrett at the end. It starts off being like, oh, Jeff Jarrett, from like a crowd chant or something. And it's like, wait, who? Sorry, did you want to say it again? And then it like pans to like a sign of like Jeff Jarrett, and it's like, okay. And then it goes on for like another minute of like Jeff Jarrett's career highlights. It's like, do you want like an impactful announcement moment, or do you want a thing advertising? What do you want out of this? Very confusing. And then because I don't think they wanted the show to end on the crowd reaction of, huh? They then had the Usos and Street Profits brawl for a little bit, and then they went off the air. So,
Who cares?
Jeff Jarrett.
All right.
But
Nah.
But why?
Not pulling it out of me today. There's... I don't know! I don't know! It doesn't matter. It's a friggin' tag title match. Their answer to the tag title match that was amazing at Money in the Bank is just like, just do it again, but
have Jeff Jarrett in it.
It's like, all right, if you saw the one good thing that you did that night and went, yeah, let's meddle with that one.
Yeah. I also don't understand how they can say, look, our referees have messed up a couple times, so we need to get someone in who's going to call it right down the middle, who's not going to miss a single thing in that ring. Let's get in an old guy. He's going to fix it.
An old guy that's
who's
not a referee.
Who's not a referee.
Not a tag guy. It's so bizarre.
Like, it's already weird enough.
Picked any name out of a hat.
Like, it's already weird enough that they're already saying that their own referees are bad. Like, that's already weird enough.
Mm-hmm.
But then to say, even if you were going to have some sort of justification of, we're going to get in this tag team specialist because they understand the chaos of tag team matches more than an average referee. Like, it's a bad justification, but it's a justification. Mm-hmm. Jeff Jarrett is here because...
He's from the South.
I'm sorry, can you do that again?
He's from the South. That's why he's here. Christ almighty.
Oh my god.
I don't know.
Whoa.
I don't know if it was just like...
That accent came out of nowhere.
Yeah.
I love it.
Like, I'll be honest. Never been a big fan of Jeff Jarrett.
No, me neither.
I've never thought his work was very good. We saw what happened at TNA. You know, you made that decision, Jeff. You brought in Vince Russo. And just like, I see Jeff Jarrett come up and I was like, oh. Well, actually, I was like, what?
Because I said to Tempest, I was like, have you seen who the special guest referee is? Because he was watching SmackDown in the office, and he was like, no. And I was like, okay, I'm just going to turn down. I was watching the WrestleTalk news episode. I was like, I'm going to turn down this bit so you don't hear me say who it actually is. And yeah, just waiting for that moment. He was like, here we go. Adam Pearce has come out. And I was like, here it is. I just seeing him sit there, just kind of hands on his head, and just... What? As that announcement happened, I was like, there we go. There's the announcement. It's stupid.
Yeah.
I don't get it.
It's dumb shit.
It's dumb.
It's dumb.
I don't think it's going to add anything. In fact, I think it's going to detract from the match massively.
Literally, if you just if you do the exact same match that you did at the last pay-per-view, cool with me.
Yeah.
You know, the story of the last one was they had a great match. The story of this one is, look at this dude. Look at this weird-ass dude who's probably going to have a weird... I hope he doesn't have a weird referee outfit, because all of his outfits are weird as hell.
He probably will.
He's going to be so distracting. I'm not down.
This whole thing just baffles me. I just don't get it. On a fundamental level, I just don't get it. And it was an odd way to end the show, put it that way. Considering they were advertising this through the whole show as well. But like, gonna have the special guest referee reveal later. Whoa, it's crazy. And it's like, oh, it's Jeff Jarrett. And you go, oh. All right, I guess.
See you next week.
Yeah, see you next week, I guess. I mean, I guess technically this counts as a build for SummerSlam, right?
Sure. That's looking at things positively.
Yeah, I just don't get it. I don't get why you'd want Jarrett. Anyway.
I'm not blowing my stack about this one.
No. I mean, should we get into some of your Ultrachats?
Yeah, what do you guys think about
What do you guys think? Because...
J-E-double-F, J-A-R-R-E-double-T.
The fact that you can recite that, I hate it. Vandalia 1998. Get in your Ultrachats, by the way, to WrestleTalk.com/support. Going to read out all the ones that are $5 and up by the time the show goes off the air. Vandalia 1998 said, hey, Pete, your review of the recaps doesn't surprise me at all, because SmackDown did the same thing 2 years ago when the brand split was dying the first time. Sorry, why did I say 2 years ago? Did the same thing years ago when the brand split was dying the first time, and SmackDown was basically a Raw rerun with 1 or 2 original fights. History repeats, and so does WWE.
Probably because the number 2 is right under the word years.
That's probably
your brain probably just read them both at the same time.
That's true. I did have an energy drink before this stream, so, you know, my brain's probably, like, tired, but just going on catch-up and adrenaline rush. Yeah, I mean, yeah, SmackDown in the day used to be horrendous. It was a completely missable show. This I still feel like has some sort of relevance in today's product. Like in the grand scheme of WWE right now, that has no relevance. It still has some relevance of the WWE scale.
Sure.
In their mind, at least, it doesn't feel like a B show necessarily, but
they're both
it's
shows.
not. Yeah, exactly. I mean, I'd call them both C shows, but whatever. We have a leftover Ultra Chat from yesterday's show. Unfortunately, this is a question for Denise. We are not Denise, but tell you what, we'll answer for her anyway.
Not? Shit, I thought this was a different show.
Switcher! Golden Arcade 9 said, "Hey guys, hope you're doing well. Denise, are you going to All Out? I was seated next to you at both the Warrior Show and Forbidden Door last month. Seems like you're at everything. Any predictions of what the world title match could be if Punk isn't ready?" Well, to answer on behalf of Denise, yeah, I'm going to All Out. I'm Denise. Why is she Cockney? I'm Denise. I'm Denise. I'm going to All Out. I am. I assume she's going to All Out. I don't know. I haven't asked her.
I would assume so. If you're going to All Out, get a hotel near the venue. Because we got real stranded last year.
Yeah. And any predictions of what the world title match could be if Punk isn't ready? Who do you think Moxley will be facing?
I don't really have an immediate one come to mind. I mean... no, I don't know. There's a bunch of different things you could do, I suppose. Depends which direction you want to go. Malachi Black could get built up really big over the summer and do that.
Yeah.
On it, like, wouldn't be my first choice, but maybe you could do, like, Moxley and Jericho again, because Moxley beat him for the title, and Jericho the next week was like, no, I'm going to get that title back at some point.
Yeah.
And then has never mentioned it again, so, I don't know. Maybe you do that. I'm not, like, pushing for Jericho to be main event again, but
no, I'm not either.
There's choices.
I think Malachi Black could be really cool, especially because the House of Black is starting to have a bit more relevance now. They got a load of feuds spinning at the same time now, so I'm hoping that, especially with like Brody King having some of those feuds to himself, Malachi can then like spin off and go into a world title program. I think that'd be really cool.
Yep. I think it'd be fun.
Yeah. Mayor of Painesville, Dan, said, "Right now, there is nothing that keeps me watching WWE shows. As long as the investigation is going on without any real consequences, I can't. But the good thing is, around events like SummerSlam or Clash at the Castle, there are indie shows to support." That's a very positive way of looking at that, Dan.
Yes.
Very good, mate.
Shout out to you, Dan.
Yeah. We'll do one more quick one from Charles Berg that says, "Guys, it totally makes sense to have Jarrett as special guest ref. I mean, think of all the history he hasn't had with the Usos. When the Usos won their first tag title, who wasn't there? Jeff. Infallible logic." Tempest, did you play Shredder's Revenge?
I didn't, but I watched. Let's see, I got a bone to pick with you, Luke Owen, because I can see that you're popping into this Ultra Chat. I'm talking to you, tweeting out a picture saying, "No Shredder's Revenge for me," while people were doing the Fall Guys like a couple days ago. And immediately, people get up, they go back, do whatever their work, and he starts playing Shredder's Revenge. Does he tweet out a picture that he's playing Shredder's Revenge? No! I just have all the people coming at me saying, "Oh, Tempest, you said you were going to play with him!" Come on, Luke! Tell the full story, buddy! I was not invited to play Shredder's Revenge. I sat there. I played with Ollie. Then you played with Lori. I didn't get handed the controller. It's fine. It's not my fault.
Unbelievable. Luke is such a heel.
Anyway,
thank you so much for your old chats. We'll go through the rest of them later on. Keep getting those in at WrestleTalk.com/support. But for now, though, let's go through the rest of SmackDown, which began with Michael Cole in the ring saying, "Here's Pat McAfee." Pat McAfee came out and did a promo. I like the fact that he came out to the SmackDown theme because they didn't want to pay for that White Stripes theme for SmackDown. Yeah. Which I would argue is like the best bit of the Pat McAfee presentation was the song. Like it got people hyped at WrestleMania, but it's money in it, I suppose. Pat does a promo saying that he's going to win at SummerSlam and he's going to beat up bum-ass Corbin. Bum-ass Corbin. And then Corbin comes on the screen. He's backstage. And he said that he's going to stay away from Pat because he was near him or the WWE Universe and they're smelly and disgusting. And he's contracted something and he holds up his arm and he's got a load of like red spots or like hives or whatever on him. And then he says, "Oh, I've got something, so I'm not going to come down there."
All right.
What?
Might want to get that checked out.
Yeah, you should like worry about that a bit more. Or, like, take some time away from Why are you still here?
I
Go
find
home.
it hilarious that there was a very public lawsuit involving WWE and their doctors being negligent. And their answer is to put on TV that Sheamus just, I got COVID. And then this week, Baron Corbin's just got something. He's got Lyme disease or something. I don't know. Like, do you not think that might not be the best way to present yourselves? Yeah, I love when the NFL players run out in the tunnel and they're just like, yeah, you know, I got this condition, got this crazy rash. It's probably contagious, but I don't know. I get he's trying to get out of a fight or something, but like,
it's just a weird,
weird
way
strange.
to frame it. Yeah, it's
very
just weird,
strange.
It feels off.
Yes.
Pat McAfee then introduced Liv Morgan, and Liv Morgan had a championship contenders match against Natalya, which makes perfect sense because Natalya got squashed last week by Ronda Rousey. So of course you should have a championship contenders match. Makes total sense to me. I thought this was a decent match. They got, you know, more time than a women's match normally gets, so that's nice. It was a little botchy in places, but it was still solid overall. It was all right.
I think Liv's strikes need some work.
Probably, yes.
Otherwise, I mean, I saw the champion get a clean win. That is more than I'm used to seeing.
Yeah.
I will absolutely take that.
Yeah.
Hopefully now Natalya can leave this program and never return.
She sold the finish.
Yeah.
Unlike at the house show. So that's nice. Good job. Kayla Braxton continues to be the worst journalist in WWE. The character who went up to Liv Morgan and said, Liv, congratulations. I couldn't help but notice that your victory wasn't as dominant as Ronda Rousey's last week. Any comments? Like, what sort of question is that?
In kayfabe, Kayla Braxton is terrible at her job, and everyone knows it.
In kayfabe.
In kayfabe. It's like a running plot point on this show that they employ a complete idiot.
Yeah.
Like the lowest of the low of WWE interview folk. It's just part of her character. She's just an idiot.
Yeah. I don't know. It's the thing is,
wouldn't be how I'd book my talent.
Yeah. And the problem is I think that this isn't inherently a bad thing of Kayla Braxton saying this, because I think there is a story element to it that Liv Morgan didn't beat Natalya as quickly as Ronda Rousey did.
Sure.
Ronda Rousey might be better. It's the fact that this is everything that Kayla Braxton does. Is she approaches the wrestler and goes, well, you're a bit rubbish. Any thoughts? And it's every time that she does this.
It's like both the times against the Usos and the Street Profits thing. They were just like, Usos, you might lose.
Yeah.
You ever thought about what you're going to do if you lose? And
losing?
Street Profits. I've noticed that you haven't won a title in a year and a half. Why are you so terrible?
Yeah. It's crazy.
Yeah.
The lines that she's given are not good. We then had what I thought was a fun little interaction backstage between Paul Heyman and Theory. Paul Heyman essentially trying to sweet talk Theory and trying to say that, you know, don't cash in at SummerSlam because you should have a scheduled match. Think of all the money you could make if you have a scheduled match against Roman Reigns instead. And Theory was like, nah, I'm going to cash in at SummerSlam. But I liked Paul Heyman's promo here.
Logical.
I thought it put over what he's trying to achieve, which is, please, Theory, don't cash in at SummerSlam because it's going to be a brutal match with Lesnar and Reigns is going to be vulnerable, and I don't want him to take advantage of that. I liked it.
Logical.
Yeah.
I like it.
Yep. What wasn't logical was the New Day.
Oh, damn.
Okay.
Every year, they get some variation of the old day segment.
Yeah.
Like, every year, it's like, I feel like we haven't had our yearly or annual terrible New Day segment yet. They just can't help themselves.
Here it is. It's this one.
It's this one.
Yep. They came out dressed as the Viking Raiders. And
No. They came out as the New Vicious Viking Raiders, which is different, apparently.
Yep, it is. My notes for this are, they are dressed as the Viking Raiders. Where is the joke here? Is the joke that they're dressed like them? Is that the comedy because it's not funny?
This is the company who has told the same joke that Shanky likes to dance every week for about 6 months.
Is that even a joke?
Is it a joke, Pete? I don't know.
I don't think it's a joke, Tempest. So they came out dressed as the Viking Raiders. They show a recap of them from last week. I thought this was so weird that they came out a couple weeks ago and like, we can get serious, we can get vicious, let's go, we're going to beat up Viking Raiders, and then they got their asses kicked. And then last week they came out and they're like, we're going to kick your asses, and then they got their asses kicked. So then this week they're going to not take them seriously and try and mock them. It's like, you guys have been beaten up like 3 times in a row. Start taking them seriously.
These segments were in reverse order.
Yeah.
Totally. You make fun of them first, get your ass beat, then take them seriously, then have a real fight.
Yeah. Yeah.
How is that hard?
I don't know, man. It is hard. But then, what I loved as well about this was great, was Viking Raiders then came out, and I kid you not, Ivar's line in this promo, "We are new and vicious."
I've said this before, but these comedy writers that go to WWE for work experience or whatever, if I saw WWE on your CV, I would not hire you.
Yeah. God, like...
Yeah, let me hire the guy that wrote The Room while I'm at it. I know it's Tommy Wiseau.
Tommy Wiseau, yeah.
But you know what I mean.
Like, the thing is, we are new and vicious. You can just act viciously, and we'll pick up on that. We understand. Like, you know, just act vicious. You don't need to tell us.
You're tearing me apart, Ivar!
Everything sucks! No! It's literally just like, we are new. You should care. Anyway, they go down to the ring. Shanky and Jinder Mahal are there waiting in the wings. They attack the Viking Raiders. The babyfaces stand tall. They all dance in the ring, apart from Jinder Mahal, who looks like he's considering it. I can't wait for that. Kayla Braxton was backstage with Walter. Got a recap of last week. Walter then chopped Ludwig Kaiser again, which I'm less keen on. I would have rather that he just keeps it to when he loses. Yes. Like, he does his discipline. He's like, right, now go back to winning. Rather than, you lost last week, I'm going to punish you again for the same thing that you did last week, you know?
It's not what an actual leader would do.
Yeah.
You know?
Because to me, this just feels like they're just going to split up.
Yeah, he's just a dick.
Yeah.
He's not, I have failed my leader. I am now receiving my punishment, which I deserve. Now he's just beating up his partner.
Yeah. Which is I'm less into.
It's significantly less intriguing.
Yeah. We then had what was supposed to be Lacey Evans versus Aaliyah. We got a lengthy Lacey Evans video package of basically doing a whole promo from last week before she then came out and did the same promo as last week. So we just saw the same thing twice. Yeah, she just says, you aren't cheering me enough, and off I go, and then she walks out. I would call this a waste of time.
I have no need for Lacey Evans.
No. We then got a recap of Drew McIntyre versus Butch from last week and Sheamus having COVID. And then we got Drew McIntyre versus Sheamus. That was big quotes for podcast listeners. And my first note was, why do we think that this match will actually happen? Like, it didn't happen last week. Why would we believe that it's going to happen this week? And guess what? It didn't. Okay, this was such a confusing sequence of events.
Very odd.
I'm just gonna
through it, Pete.
Just gonna run through it, and we're gonna see if we can piece this together. Me and you, chat. We're gonna see if we can figure this out. So, Drew McIntyre does his entrance. The Brawling Brutes do their entrance, and the ring announcer says, "It's Ridge Holland, accompanied by the Brawling Brutes, Ridge Holland." So that's already against what the advertised match is, because it was Drew McIntyre versus Sheamus. And then the commentators are like, "Oh, that's different. I thought it was going to be Sheamus. What's going on? No one seems to know what's happening." Sheamus still seems to be under the impression that he's wrestling because he gets into Drew McIntyre's face when they get in the ring. Butch then gets out of the ring and grabs the ring bell. Sheamus then gets out of the ring to be like, "Whoa, what are you doing, Butch? Why have you got the ring bell?" And then Butch rings the bell, and the people in the ring at that moment are Drew McIntyre and Ridge Holland. And I guess that makes the match official because you rung the bell and 2 people are in the ring. But the match was already official before that because that's what the ring announcer said. So what was the actual scheduled match in that case? Was it Ridge Holland or was it Sheamus?
I ain't got a clue.
And then Sheamus continued to sell this like, why'd you ring the bell, Butch? And then the commentators were saying, "Oh man, Sheamus keeps ducking out Drew McIntyre. Like he needs to actually face him one of these days." And he wasn't the one that orchestrated him getting out of this match. Like, he seemed as annoyed about it as Drew McIntyre was.
All right, I've got a few
My
thoughts.
brain hurts.
Got a few thoughts here.
Yeah.
How about and this doesn't work with last week at all.
Sure.
Because last week, Sheamus was actively ducking Drew.
Yes.
This week, he seemingly was unintentionally ducking Drew.
Yes.
You could say that the Brawling Brutes don't think Sheamus can win.
Sure.
So they're trying to take this fall for him.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't make sense if you look to the next week.
Sure.
But that's a plot point that they could introduce at some point.
Mm-hmm.
Secondly, I have full belief that this match is just going to take place at SummerSlam. They're just going to do number one contenders match at SummerSlam, and that's for the Clash of the Castle.
Clash at the Castle.
Clash at the Castle. If you just announced that match like the week after Money in the Bank and just said, you know what, SummerSlam, Drew, Sheamus, number one contenders, I'd be like, cool, probably a really good match. And a match with stakes. You don't need to false advertise this and do this bait and switch crap every single week. Third of all, most importantly, every single person on the roster needs to hire their own personal ring bell ringer.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you can just ring the bell and that starts the match, why would you not ever just pin someone, ring the bell? You're pinning them, you won.
Yeah.
Match is over,
There
apparently.
you go. That's the magic power of the bell.
Beat them up real bad, and then have your personal bell ringer ring that bell.
It's a knockout right there.
Ring my bell. Anyway, it's so dumb. And
It's
I
very
don't
stupid.
I said to you in the office earlier, because this will come up later. You can dissect every single part of a WWE show. There is not a moment where everything makes sense.
No.
You know? And this is where, again, the -1 thing comes into play, where it's like, if it's not this, then it's the commentary. If it's not that, then it's the camera work. If it's not this, the blah, 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 blah. There's a million of them. And when they introduce something like this, it's like, -1. That don't make sense.
Yeah,
that don't make no sense.
No, exactly. Drew McIntyre won against Rich Holland very quickly. We then got a really long advertisement for SmackDown, for SummerSlam even, and then we got a recap of Brock Lesnar on Raw. And then, okay. So Theory made his entrance.
Aha, yes.
Then we cut to an ad break. Then we got an advert for SummerSlam. Then we got a recap of Brock Lesnar on Raw. Then we cut to Gorilla Position and a promo from Madcap Moss. Then Paul Heyman does a promo. Then we go to another ad break, and then we get a recap of Maximum Male Models, and then we get to Theory versus Madcap Moss. Oh my god.
Yeah.
That is an absurd amount of time that Theory was in the ring.
It was about 15 minutes of absolute nothing.
Yeah. Yeah, it's absolutely insane. The promo with Madcap Moss and Paul Heyman I quite liked. It was essentially the same promo that Paul Heyman did earlier, but he tweaks it for Madcap Moss to be like, you know, you could injure Corbin, do the same thing to Theory to try and make sure that Theory is injured so he can't cash in at SummerSlam. I like it. I think it makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
It makes perfect sense for Paul Heyman's character. It's good. Well, once again, of course, they can't just have you, like, realize things by a person's actions. We can't actually take in, like, subtext or anything like that. So Madcap Moss just goes, "You're scared of Theory cashing in!" Like, yes, thank you. That we understand. That's what Paul Heyman wants.
Here is the smallest nitpick you will ever see.
This is great. Yeah.
It's so stupid.
Yeah.
I think the most insignificant thing that I've noticed about WWE, my latest pet peeve,
Yeah.
I noticed in this segment in particular, is when someone interrupts an interview segment and they're like, Mackenzie or Megan or Kayla, whoever, please leave. Give me the floor. And the person with the microphone walks off and the volume doesn't change.
The sound quality is exactly the same.
The shot is mic'd exactly the same whether the interviewer with the stick mic is standing there doing this or not.
It's good.
It's like,
doesn't matter.
It's just...
It's a prop.
It's just dumb.
It's a prop.
It's a prop mic.
Yeah.
It's just, it's totally insignificant,
Yeah.
but I see it and I go, -1.
Yeah, it's great. We then had Theory versus... Oh, sorry, next week as well, Maximum Male Models. We're getting Maxine Dupree, who is Max Dupree's sister, apparently. I'm not looking forward to it. I will admit the name when I saw it did make me laugh, because I thought it was stupid. But that made me chuckle. We then got Theory versus Madcap Moss, which was a decently long match. Hey, actually did some wrestling on this show. It got some time. That's the bar that we're going for They had wrestling on this show. Was it good wrestling? But it was wrestling. They had a good match, I thought. It was fine. It was decent stuff. But of course it ended in a DQ. Because WWE doesn't know how to end matches. Madcap Moss gets announced as the winner because Theory used the Money in the Bank briefcase. Immediately afterwards, he just does a promo and says, "No one cares. I'm still Mr. Money in the Bank." I'm like, well, yeah. I mean, you're right. Wins and losses don't matter. So,
which has been extremely illustrated by this man, who we looked up in the office, has not won a singles match since April. Mr. Money in the Bank, probably going to be your next WWE champion of some sort in the near future, has not won a match since April. Yeah. Since he beat Finn Balor for the U.S. title. They have no idea what they're doing. Absolutely. You can't just have him beat Madcap Moss. Why are you protecting Madcap Moss over giving a clean win to perhaps your next champion?
Who knows?
So stupid.
Yep. Sami Zayn came out and said he's disrespecting the tribal chief. The Usos came out to help Sami Zayn, which I thought was weird. I'm like, is Sami actually in the bloodline now? I thought they wouldn't have done that. You could make the argument that they were just coming out for the main event match, and it just so happened that they were coming out to Sami, and Sami's going to think that he was protected. I don't know. I don't have that much faith in WWE. And then we had the main event that we already spoke about. So just very quickly before we move on to Rampage, I'd just like to point out that the amount of recaps and video packages on this show, not including instant replays, just recaps of stuff from previous weeks and video packages, totaled 11 minutes and 50 seconds on this show, which is an absurd number when you think that on a 2-hour show, like 40 minutes of that is ad breaks anyway.
Yep.
So out of 1 hour, 20 minutes-ish, nearly 12 minutes of that is just stuff we've already seen.
Show's awful, Pete. This is a terrible television program.
It
fails in
good.
every level of production.
Yeah, it does. Yeah.
And it's like, and then you're the bar that we're trying to hit here is, there were a few 2-star matches on this show.
Yeah, that's the bar. I gave this a 3 out of 5 because there was wrestling on it, and that's better than normal.
It is better than normal.
That's it. Maybe I'm just being too generous. I don't know.
-5 stars.
Let's talk about Rampage. Tempest, take us through it. What happened on Rampage?
So, I mean, bang, they start. Match already in the ring. We got Johnny Hungy and Alex Reynolds against the Kings of the Black Throne.
Oof.
I don't think I've ever said. I really like that they have their own team name within House of Black. I just think that's cool. This was a really fun match. I think a superbly wrestled opener. They had some really fun spots where Johnny Hungy was matching strength with Brody King, and they were both doing the shoulder block spot, and they'd step up and then hit the other one, and then finally John Silver knocked Brody King. He didn't take a bump, but he kind of staggered backward, fell over, then immediately got up and knocked him down. Just be like, you could tell he was embarrassed by it, but just knocked him down. Malachi Black went up to the top rope, and because Alex Reynolds and John Silver, they hit their tag team tandem sequence, which ends with John Silver hitting a big German suplex. They had to do that twice in order to get Brody King off his feet. Great detail. And Malachi Black jumped off the top rope, cleared 3/4 of the ring with a drop kick to break it up. Very good stuff. Hit the Black Mass, and then they hit Dante's Inferno on Alex Reynolds for the win. And then as they were going back up the ramp, Darby Allin jumps off the entrance ramp, or off the entrance tunnel, and takes out Brody King. He kind of gets yeeted down the ramp, but he just gets back up, jumps on Brody King's back, and they brawl into the crowd. Meanwhile, Sting comes out, and they just have a really long, kind of weird stare down between Sting and Malachi Black, where it's like, who's going to make the first move? No one. I'm going to turn and go back, but I'm going to turn? No, not right now. And they went back, and this is going to be a tag team match of some sort in the near future, and I'm okay with that.
I am as well. And also, as you mentioned as well before, the House of Black are now feuding with loads of people.
A lot of people.
Which is good, because they've been needing to do something for ages.
Yes.
And now they're doing stuff.
Yes.
Which I'm all for.
See, what probably happened was we had to stretch out that House of Black Death Triangle thing for an extra pay-per-view cycle that they weren't prepared for. And these are all the things that we were going to do in between that time that we're now trying to catch up on really quick. Might not actually be the case, but I wouldn't be surprised.
Yes.
Because afterwards, we got a promo from Miro, who said that he wasn't sure if God sent him a devil, and if he wasn't sure that if he was sent the House of Black to defeat them or to be recruited by them. Woo!
I love Miro.
Miro's fantastic.
He's the best.
He is.
I thought this promo was awesome.
A perfect wrestler.
He's a perfect wrestler.
He
He's
is
great.
So great. I'm so happy that he's back on TV.
And I don't know where this is going to go. Legitimately, I have no idea. But I think I'm happy with wherever it goes.
Yeah. Any option involves seeing Miro on TV. And that means it's going to be good.
That's cool with me. Yep. Yeah. All on board with this.
Absolutely love it. We got Caprice Coleman came out for this Ring of Honor World Championship match. I thought he did a fantastic job on this show, really putting over some of the stories going in and how Lee Moriarty and Jonathan Gresham fighting for this ROH World Championship. Like, they said that Jonathan Gresham had a long reign as pure champion, and in pure matches you can't do strikes, so he wasn't used to just getting hit in the face. He's got a weak chin, and the first few spots of the match are Lee Moriarty hitting him in the mouth and him rolling to the outside and needing to regroup. It just is commentary that adds to the match. Meanwhile, you've got Jericho on commentary who didn't know the story at all. It was like, oh, well, Lee Moriarty and Jonathan Gresham, they're tag partners and former friends. Was like, they're not, though. That's the story, is that they're not. That Lee Moriarty was his challenger that tried to do something, and Jonathan Gresham didn't accept it.
Yeah.
Piss off, Chris Jericho. Anyway, this is what I thought was a very fun match. Lee Moriarty has had a few chances to kind of show that he is somebody in AEW. He's had his match with CM Punk, had his match with Bryan Danielson, but I hadn't thought that those matches were really like the Lee Moriarty showcase, and this was more of that, but not to the level that like Wheeler Yuta had against Jon Moxley or anything like that. This was a very good match for Lee Moriarty, but ultimately Jonathan Gresham, he got him in the octopus hold and tapped him out.
Big Johnny Gresh.
Yeah. And then after the match, Jonathan Gresham gets on the mic, says that hold for hold, he's the best wrestler in the entire world, and every week he's going to be on AEW beating your favorites. Sounds good to me. Tully Blanchard gets on the mic, says that this is the best wrestler in the world, and they're interrupted by Claudio Castagnoli, and it's revealed later in the night that that is going to be the World Championship match for Death Before Dishonor.
Big
and we were
thumbs
wondering last week if they were going to have a match better than Jonathan Gresham versus Lee Moriarty set for that pay-per-view. Yeah.
They did. They sure did.
Fair play to you.
I am really looking forward to that match. And honestly, I wasn't really going to check out Death Before Dishonor. I was like, oh, I might check out. If there's like any huge matches that people say are great afterwards, I'll go probably check them out post. But now I'm like, I might watch this show. Audio's on it. And there's some other really good matches lined up for this now. So I might watch it. Yeah, I thought this is a great sell for the show, honestly.
It gave you, like, this is a match that you probably need to see now.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Like, I don't know how much it will matter selling the pay-per-view, but having a world title match with a big star that you don't know who's going to win, that's a lot more interesting than going in against Lee Moriarty and be like, I don't think Lee Moriarty's going to win.
Yeah.
If he does, it would be a big surprise, but I don't think a lot of people would buy it, like, expecting him to do it.
Yeah.
So I really like that. I really like the build for this Death Before Dishonor. I think the card looks pretty fantastic, honestly. And if they just keep doing stuff like that, obviously they want to get Ring of Honor on TV and everything, but if they could just keep building shows like that, having cards like that, I think they're going to be just fine.
Quick question for you. Do you think Claudio's going to win?
I don't know. Like, maybe. I would think that would really take the legs out from under Jonathan Gresham. But, man, it's Claudio, isn't it?
Like, my thing is, it probably would take the legs out from Gresham. But having the Ring of Honor World Champion and the Ring of Honor Pure Champion in Blackpool Combat Club together, I'm like, that's cool. And the interim AEW World Champion, like everyone's getting gold. Like that's kind of cool.
Yeah.
I like that. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah. It depends on how much effort you want to put in at this exact moment, because you would need to do more to make Jonathan Gresham as World Champion go up to that level. It can be done. You just have to build him up because he hasn't been on TV. But if you just want to put the title on someone who's going to be like, that's your ROH World Champion, Claudio Castagnoli, I think that's also a very, very reasonable thing to do.
Yeah.
Just whether you want to sacrifice one for the sake of the other, that's the decision you got to make.
Yep.
Very good. We also had a promo from Christopher Daniels, who's still here. Don't know why he's not on TV more often.
Wow.
Love me some CD. And he said that he was going to, he cut a promo on behalf of Smojo, basically.
Yeah.
He said he was going to fight Jay Lethal. They'll probably have a match like next week. It'll probably be good.
Yeah, sure.
It's cool. It's one of them Ring of Honor matches.
Yeah.
You know? It is what
it's fine.
It was fine. Yeah, it was fine. We also got a tag team match. A really short tag team match, in fact.
Yeah.
Really short. Because Athena and Chris Statlander took on the Renegade twins.
Mm-hmm.
And these Renegade twins, I was expecting some twin magic or something. I was expecting a match. Instead, babyface just beat them up, and then they sort of hit like a electric chair into a second rope code breaker. And there's always a problem when you have multiple people falling in the same move, because they never can just boom, 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 all land at the same time.
Yeah.
Stop doing moves like that. That's word to all wrestlers. Anytime you try and do a move like that, where multiple people are falling at the same time, double drop kick spot, double spot, none of them look good. It's like a 1% success rate. But sure enough, like, they get one of the two twins out of the ring, and Athena just, like, hits a Saito suplex and then hits the Eclipse and wins.
Mm-hmm.
That was the whole match. Layla Gray was sitting at ringside because baddies and everything. She gets up, she tries to interfere, and then Jade Cargill and Kiera Hogan came down to the ring and laid out Athena and Chris Statlander. This was very by the books.
Yeah, sure was. Is this the first time that we have seen Jade Cargill run down to the ring to, like, save someone?
Might have been.
Because genuinely, watching her run down to the ring, I was like, this looks weird. She's not doing her entrance.
I've never seen her running animation before.
Yeah, legit. It's actually what it is like. I'll also say they didn't give the segment enough time, because if they wanted to lay out the babyface and have the heel stand tall, you should do that. But the babyface shouldn't be taken down by, like, a move.
Yeah.
You know, like Jade Cargill hit a pretty cool looking move. It was like a pump handle spin around, like, face buster kind of thing. It looked pretty cool. But, like, just doing that, whoop, and then Athena was out of it. And it's like, you need to do more than that to have them, like, be out, you know?
You also can't really expect me to believe that that's the takeout angle after, like, a 28-second match.
Yeah, right, yeah.
I'm not going to believe that you're tired.
Yeah.
You know?
Exactly. Yeah, if it was like a 25-minute match before that, and then they come down, hit one more move, and it's like, okay, that's just the icing on the cake.
Yeah, but, like, they were as fresh as could be.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I expect more, and I didn't get it. Yeah. The Ass Boys and Ass Man, that's you, they were in the ring, the Ass Club, and they didn't really say anything. Billy Gunn was just like, I treated those boys as good as my own sons. Actually, I treated them better than my own sons. And then they get interrupted by the Acclaimed, who come out, don't have the promo during the thing, and they go into the ring, and Billy Gunn's just like, whoa, one more time before we can all go our separate ways. Scissor me, daddy ass. Doesn't make sense because you are daddy ass. You can't just say the line. It don't make no sense otherwise. And, yeah, they didn't accept. Anthony Bowens hit a super kick. They tossed the Ass Boys out of the ring. And then they cut a promo about how Billy Gunn has a little small dick. And that's it. The Acclaimed are going to make fantastic baby faces.
They are.
I think.
I mean, they already had a lot of babyface pops going in.
There's a lot of call and response to their act.
For sure.
So it makes sense that kind of act gets built into a babyface thing. I just don't care about the Gun Club. Nope. I'm sorry.
Nope.
I think Billy Gunn adds nothing to AEW.
Yeah. I think that the Acclaim need to have a match with the Ass Boys.
Beat them,
soon.
move on.
Beat them, move on. That's it. Yeah.
Yeah. Not into it. We got the backstage Mark Henry bit, which we normally don't really talk about because it's time for the main event.
Yeah.
And good job, Mark. Earn your money. But this time it was a little bit interesting because Andrade starts cutting the promo on behalf of Private Party. And then we learn that, hey, man, we've been trying to call you. We've been trying to text you. We've been trying to WhatsApp you, Facebook you, MySpace you is what they said. And, you know, it's about what you would expect. Andrade only calls upon them when he needs them, but doesn't help them because he's a bad guy. He's a heel. Yeah. Whatever. And they're going to face the Lucha Brothers, and then they had a match. Also, forgot to mention, Stokely Hathaway's trying to recruit Lee Moriarty backstage, and Matt Sydal sets up a match with Lee Moriarty and Dante Martin for next week. I think that match should be very fun.
I think it will.
And then we got our main event, which was Private Party against Lucha Brothers. I did not think this was the most smoothly wrestled match ever.
No, it was a little bit botchy.
A little bit.
Yeah.
A little bit, which is just like, it is what it is, but a lot of the time Rampage main events will kind of be like meh, or they'll be fantastic. This one was more meh. It just, you know, there wasn't a whole lot to it. Private Party, I thought, looked very good early. They did dives to the outside. Isaiah Cassidy, in particular, was very charismatic, landed right in front of the camera. You know, she's like, oh, I'm on fire, baby. Like, you know, yeah, one of those really good moments that felt genuine and authentic and everything. Rey Fenix had a really good shine sequence, but unfortunately, Penta slipped on the ropes when he was making his hot tag, and the crowd kind of let him hear it, and that's tough. Like, that really is probably the most important part of a match like this. You know, aside from the finish, like, the hot tag in a main event tag match like this is kind of what you want to hit, and it didn't hit, and it kind of killed the match from that point onward, because very quickly afterwards, they did a near fall. Penta hit Last of the Dragon. And then he went to go and hit something, and Roosh ran in. And this is where things get funky for me.
This was weird.
Because Jose gets on the apron, and he immediately is then followed by Alex Abrahantes. And they brawl and whatever, ref is distracted. Andrade gets on the other side, and he gets super kicked. This is when Roosh runs in, and the referee still has his head out the thing, and that's fine. Roosh, like, runs in, hits Penta in the back of the head, and, like, falls into the referee, which is already, this spot is now just looking jank. But he hits him, and in the motion of selling this forearm to the back of the head, is Penta then just hitting a Canadian Destroyer.
Yeah.
And they tags in Rey Fenix, and
he wins.
The Black Tiger Driver and wins.
Yeah.
And they go off the air with, like, the Andrade, whatever, just being, you know, Los Intangibles. They're just like, darn! No, what's happened?
Yep.
The plan!
Yeah.
Foiled again! This was way overbooked.
Yeah, I think I was saying this to you in the office. I think there is a story there that they were trying to tell of bad guy interferes, but babyfaces overcome that anyway.
Yeah.
But I think you needed to have more time and not have it be so jam-packed towards the end. You need to hit the beats to let the audience breathe in what's happening. So you needed, like, Roosh to, like, hit Penta to be, like, staggering against the ropes. Roosh, like, poses to the crowd, be like, yeah, I hit the babyface. I'm great. I did it. And then behind him, Penta, like, recovers and hits a destroyer. And he goes, oh, no, I didn't do the thing. Oh, I've been foiled. Like, just having that space to breathe and let people realize what's happening rather than him hitting Penta into a destroyer that he hit is, like, that doesn't make any sense. Right. It was like you said, very overbooked, and it just needed to be condensed down a little bit.
It needed better presentation. The camera work didn't capture things, like, kind of as they were happening as well as I would have liked. Because, again, another way I thought you could have done this is if you have Penta kind of setting up the Canadian Destroyer as is, like the guy's already head between his legs, the whole deal. And referee's distracted, and Roosh comes in and just hits him from behind as he's standing there, and that momentum sends him over and he hits the move. It's still wacky, but like, it would be better than just like, oh, he hits him and then walks forward and just hits his move anyway. Yeah. Because I saw it the first time, I was like, wait, did he hit him? Did he miss? What happened? What have I missed here? Why did he just hit a Canadian Destroyer? Yeah. It didn't make sense to me. It didn't click, and that's how the show went off the air. And once again, I'm stuck here feeling like the weirdest possible choice to main event. The only weirder choice here would have been like the girls match. But like, why was the Ring of Honor Championship match not the main event? To have Claudio come out. And I guess they wanted to like have that happen to announce the match later in the show, but just put the graphic up right then. You could totally I have no idea why they couldn't have swapped things around. And so often, that's the biggest complaint I have with Rampage. Is just if you mix the order up a lot of the time, the overall flow of the show is just so much better. And I didn't get it this week.
Yeah, overall I thought this was like an average episode of Rampage. There wasn't anything that special. I think like you mentioned in your review, like the first half of it was really good. The second half of it was not very good. There was a lot of missable stuff. Some stuff didn't quite work. But overall, it was fine. Yeah, it was all right.
Like a below, because it's an average quote-unquote episode. It's average per, like, regular show standards.
Sure, yeah.
It's like it's a below-average episode of Rampage.
For sure.
You know?
Absolutely, yeah.
It didn't start that way, but it kind of ended that way, unfortunately.
Yeah, which is a shame.
Yeah.
So before we get into the rest of your Ultrachats, I believe we need to say thank you to some very special people, and those are our $25 and above Pledgehammers on our Patreon page. If you've not been to our Patreon page yet, you should. Loads of extra bonus content, loads of extra awesome perks, including if you pledge at the $25 or above tier, you get your own custom wrestling nickname, and it gets read out on the show, much like this one. So thank you to Send Me to Heaven, Evan Reich. Yeah.
Pick 'em up, Loot Sponge.
Yeah. To Lot to Handle, Lottie McCulloch.
Yeah. Manipulating Manu Maria.
Yeah. How do you like them apples, Marcel Jura?
Yeah. Marcus, he's got soul, Campbell. Yeah.
Have a glass of sherry, Martel J. Simmons.
Yeah. He's got 2 first names, Matt Howard. Yeah.
The real boss, Matt Robinson.
Yeah. What's love got to do with it, Matthew Turner? Yeah.
Extra little flair in the end, I like that.
Got you.
You'll never get this name right, you idiots. Matthew Zimjewski.
Yeah. Max Kurt Wallander Wallen.
And finally, for this Hall of Fame class of the 16th of July, 2022, Michael Jensen Radio.
Yeah.
Lovely stuff. Thank you so much, all of our beloved Pledgehammers. Let's get into the rest of your Ultra Chats here. Last chance to get those in at WrestleTalk.com/support. It's going to read all the ones that are $5 and up by the time the show goes off the air, apart from this one that comes from Luke Owen, who has donated, apparently, $loads.
Sloads.
Yeah, sloads. He said, just a reminder that these are the lyrics to Jeff Jarrett's TNA theme. The earth is not your place. The pale skin is on your face. If you step inside with me, you will see a king. He ain't dead. He is Jeff. Don't want to hear your big mouth talk in my world. That's right. He ain't dead. He is Jeff.
Well then. Hot damn. I do
Thanks,
appreciate Luke coming in with his TNA bits.
Yeah. Great stuff, Luke. Thanks,
Wow.
mate. Yep. Armageddon94 has been a member for 3 months in a row. Woo! Thank you. Who said, maybe Jarrett is a Heyman plant? He found someone who's easily swayed or manipulated to ensure an Uso win.
He is easily manipulated.
Very good. It's a bad reason, but it's better than none. It is a bad reason because that's not what it would be in kayfabe.
That would literally be the opposite of what you would want this referee to be.
Exactly, yeah.
But I find that funny.
Yeah. Kevin said, well, technically, Theory's last win was at Hell in a Cell against Mustafa Ali. I won't blame you if you forgot, since everything is missable, but still. But don't worry, he'll have a win at Mania against Cena, and everyone will be happy. Sarcasm. Did he win against Mustafa Ali?
This is news
Was that the handicap match with Miz?
I said single.
Yeah, singles match.
I didn't say win. Yes, yes, you're correct. He and the Miz beat Mustafa Ali in a handicap match. The last singles win was Finn Balor in April. It's bad either way.
It's not good. No.
Yeah.
Kevin said, because I only watch Dynamite, I don't really take time to watch your reviews, but shout out to Pete for the video essay on Reigns. It was really good. Hope we can have more of that type of content. Well, you are in luck. I've got a couple more of those style of videos coming out soon. So yeah, in fact, I'm recording another one right after this podcast. So hopefully that'll be out sometime in the week, maybe.
Yeah.
We'll see how long it takes to get edited, but yeah, I've got another couple lined up, so yay, more stuff like that. Thank you so much, everyone, by the way, for everyone that watched that video and gave me some very nice feedback, because I was kind of worried that no one was going to watch it. But loads of people did, and people really seem to enjoy it, so that's great. Thank you so much, everyone.
Well done, Pete.
Thank you, mate. Adam Pearson.
Hi, Adam.
Celebrity MasterChef's own Adam Pearson said, salutations, you legends. Firstly, I'd like to say, how good is it watching WWE at a normal time in a bar? Oh, probably still not great. With SummerSlam around the corner, how would you guys book the Go Home Raw and SmackDown shows to best get people hyped and stay hyped for the pay-per-view?
I mean, I have to do a lot of work,
to get people hyped for it. All right, crazy idea, guys. We're scrapping all the plans.
Yeah, I would just.
Here's all these other matches instead. Lesnar's not here anymore. We're having Lesnar versus Otis.
Oh. Boy.
I'd pay to see that.
Yeah, I'd pay to see it too.
Yeah.
I don't know, like, just do something. Do anything to justify this Roman Reigns Brock Lesnar match. Like, give me a reason why it's happening.
It's the last time ever.
Yeah.
Last time ever.
I genuinely don't know. I'm so mentally checked out. Trying to fantasy book WWE programming is a fruitless effort, because literally, like, when I'm trying to think of what I would do if I was AEW with something, I'd be like, might be this. But I feel like most of the time you can be sort of on the same path. And even if you're not, oftentimes I'd be like, you know what? You probably know better than me.
Mm-hmm.
I will believe that this Swerve in Our Glory thing will be better than FTR and the Young Bucks 3. It'd be tough, but I will give you the benefit of the doubt because I love these guys.
Mm-hmm.
Try and figure out something. Like, you cannot try and figure out, I wonder who Cora and Roxanne's first challengers are going to be for the titles that they just won, because they will break up the tag champions the next week. So trying to, like, fantasy book this or look anywhere down the line is just a fruitless effort for me.
I mean, I feel like some people might like that because a lot of people like car crash television, where you just like, oh, who knows what's gonna happen? It's gonna be crazy. It doesn't have to make sense.
It'll be
Whereas,
crazy.
like, I feel like it's not unreasonable to ask that shows make sense.
Mhm.
That's just me. We also have a new Memberg that is Trash Panda.
Woo!
Thank you so much for becoming a new Memberg. Really do appreciate it. I believe that is all the Ultrachats, which means that's it for this episode of the WrestleTalk Podcast. Thank you so much for watching, everyone. Really do appreciate it. I'll be back with more content soon, because we've only got a couple weeks until SummerSlam. Oh my god. So yeah, we're going to have more reviews. Subscribe if you haven't already. Like the video. And go watch another WrestleTalk Podcast episode. We had one the other day about stuff. What day is it today? Saturday. We had one yesterday with Luke and Denise talking about the TV14 rating and if that's actually going to help. Hey, if you like that subject, by the way, stay tuned for another video essay on that exact topic.
Keep doing your sign off, Pete. I just gotta fix.
Fix what? My eyebrow?
There's one eyebrow. There we go.
Is it one eyebrow hair that's so much longer than all the others?
No, it was sticking out this way.
Ah,
the
yeah, it does
entire
that.
time. It looked very very evil.
Mm.
It looked very like Mr. Sinister almost.
Was it very good and also very evil?
It was very good and very evil.
Well, that's good to know. Thank you so much for watching. We're going to go now. Bye. Subscribe. Like the video. Bye. Jam that jam.